If you're tired, the temptation is to focus on the symptoms. The temptation is to focus on what you're not getting done. The frustrations that come with feeling as though your to-do list is mounting. The frustrations that come with not fulfilling the promises that you have made to yourself. And whilst I think that's common, I think that's natural, it's not helpful. It's not helpful because it's not going to change anything. If anything, you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're creating this cycle that you end up on because you are focusing on negative things, which in turn influences how you think, feel, act and behave, how you react to situations, how you react to people. I had a similar experience recently where my general enthusiasm for doing things just was a low. And I convinced myself that I was tired. I convinced myself that my situation, my circumstances with a young family, poor sleep was just influencing my mood, not getting what I wanted to get done. I was busy. That was the main thing for me. I was labeling myself in my own head as being really, really busy, and I hate that. I personally want to remove the word busy from my vocabulary because it's bullshit. And I'll go into my reasons about that in another video maybe. But my point is that I was focusing on the symptoms that were coming as a byproduct of these feelings I was having about being tired and unproductive and inefficient, and generally just the whole I can't be bothered, can't be arsed attitude. Until not long after, literally a matter of hours, I snapped out of it. And I snapped out of it because I was able to focus on the solution. And I think that's the missing piece for a lot of men. We get caught up in focusing on the feelings, the symptoms, how that then makes us feel, who we then become as a byproduct, as opposed to actually just doing something about it. Now, I'll give you one example. I recognized that I was falling into a trap of getting up early, because I'm a big believer in getting up early. I never used to be, but I think when you've got a family, going to bed early, going to bed with the kids in my case, so that you can wake up early and have time to yourself without distractions, without fires needing to be put out, without people trying to get in touch with you and contact you, emails and messages and all of these different things. I'm a big advocate of going to bed early so that you can wake up early and have some time to do whatever you want to do with it, whether it be exercise, whether it be start work, whether it be have a productive couple of hours to get things done undisturbed, whatever it is you choose to do. I'm a big advocate of it. I think when you've got a family, that works incredibly well. And I just don't see any positives of not doing that. But I was falling into the trap of getting up and getting stuck straight into work. It was comfortable. Work is my comfort zone. I'm very familiar with it. It's also easy. It's easy because it's familiar. My laptop is already out from the day before. I can just go downstairs, make a coffee, sit on the chair and drink that coffee while simultaneously opening up my laptop and cracking on with what I need to do that day. But that was I believe it was having a negative impact on my life and how I was feeling. For many reasons. One, because once I got stuck into work, I would very rarely leave it. I would enter a bit of a flow state or kind of be getting some form of gratification from ticking off boxes and getting my priorities done. Before I know it, it would then be time to take the kids to school, go back to work, pick the kids up from school, and then either do a little bit more work or get caught up in the whole responsibilities at home. Tea, baths, bedtime routine, cycle repeats itself. And I wasn't doing anything for me. I think that was the biggest influence on how I was feeling and the reason why I was feeling the way that I was. So I said to myself, I'm no longer going to go downstairs, make a coffee, do some work. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a bag, which I've pre-packed. I'm going to get outside regardless of the weather. And I'm going to go make a coffee. I'm going to go make a coffee by the river. Now, in an ideal world, I'd be close enough to the beach. I'd go and sit on the sand and watch the waves. In an ideal world, I'd be in the mountains and be able to sit at a lake with incredible backdrop, my type of environment. Where I'm currently sat is between an industrial estate. I think about half a mile in that direction. There's also a sewage plant. Although it's very early in the morning, I can still hear the traffic behind me. In fact, I can see a bridge going over the river where there's traffic crossing it. People who are either, finishing a night shift or potentially having a very early start. There's planes overhead. There's a lot of ambient noise. It's not kind of like this peaceful sanctuary my emotional brain would like it to be in order for it to be a perfect world. But what it is it's me doing something for me. Yes, I'm recording this video. Yes, I'm doing work. But I'm surrounded by nice noises too. I can hear the water in the background flowing over rocks. I can hear birds in the morning. I can see bees. It's a lot more pleasant than me sitting on my laptop. It's an opportunity for me to think about my day ahead. It's an opportunity for me to allow my creative brain to function because I'm giving my head some space. I'm not getting stuck into distractions the moment I wake up in the morning. I'm able to think about my priorities. I'm able to think about perhaps a call that I had with one of my clients yesterday, which allows me then to reflect a little bit deeper on the things that we've discussed, and maybe that could turn into a piece of content for other clients, or maybe something I could put on YouTube or Instagram. I'm doing something for me, something that genuinely puts a smile on my face. The process of grinding some beans, putting the jet boil on, boiling some water, using my AeroPress, the smell, as opposed to using a coffee machine and just sitting at a desk with a computer in front of me. It's just nice. And it's something for me. And it's a pleasant way to start the day. Yes, I could go for a run. Yes, I could do a workout in the garden with a kettlebell. There's various things I could do. But one of the things that we've got to be mindful of is our energy and enthusiasm is not just generated by sleep. It's also generated by the things that we do that influence our mood. And waking up first thing in the morning and get stuck into work, or waking up first thing in the morning, rushing to get ready, get the kids to school, get stuck in traffic, drive to work, and then spend a day working away, grafting, grinding. It's no wonder we get to the point where our mood is somewhat negatively influenced because of the way we're living our life. Fun, rest, and decompression is one of the most overlooked pillars. And if it's not overlooked, it's one of the most misunderstood. Like a recreational, amateur, professional athlete needs to pay close attention to his or her recovery in order to allow their efforts in training to be sustainable enough to yield the outcome. We need to rest and decompress physically, but also mentally and emotionally to a high enough standard in order to allow us to sustain our efforts across our other 5 pillars, be that health and performance, or be that our relationship with our partner or our kids or our friends, colleagues, acquaintances, our effort to be organized enough in our finances, our output, our cognitive performance, our ability to get shit done productively, be efficient at work, in business, our personal development. Whether that be our identity, our qualities, developing those, developing us as individuals, or also our skills and hobbies. There are times when I will be presented with an opportunity to go and do something that I otherwise love and enjoy, and I can't be asked doing it because I'm not resting and decompressing enough to allow myself the capacity, the energy, the enthusiasm to get off my arse and go and do the things that I enjoy. Again, it becomes this vicious cycle. No wonder we allow our energy, our enthusiasm, to then be impacted by the way in which we're living our life. So this isn't me saying that you should go down by a river, boil some water, make a coffee first thing in the morning. Find your version of what makes you happy, what brings you some joy, peace, rest, sense of decompression. You'll have your own version. You might not know what that is yet. Go and experiment with a handful of things. But go and do that before you start to get stuck in the trap of focusing on the symptoms of low energy, low mood, low enthusiasm, and then find yourself being distracted by scrolling on your phone or spending loads of time watching TV, procrastinating, falling into the victim mindset, feeling sorry for yourself, blaming circumstance, blaming work, blaming the economy, blaming politics, whatever it is that someone might be tempted to blame. Go and do something that puts a smile on your face. My advice would be to make sure that it is convenient enough so that it is repeatable enough so that you can do it frequent enough and make it part of your life. It doesn't have to be every day. Don't again fall into the trap of convincing yourself that you need to do this thing every day, because the moment you don't do it once, you'll convince yourself that you've failed, and then you'll fall off the wagon, and then you'll have this all or nothing mentality that you might already have as it is. Do it at a frequency that you think is both reasonable and realistic. And if you enjoy it enough, if it is your thing, you'll find a way to prioritize it. Whether it be, in my case, I go to bed early enough to be able to do this at the time in the morning that I do. But make sure that you treat low mood, low enthusiasm, low energy with something that's going to work for you rather than focusing on the symptoms themselves. And remember that energy is derived from more than just sleep. It's your environment, it's your culture, it's everything that you find yourself doing on a day-by-day basis. And you can change that, you can engineer it, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It could just be 5 minutes sat enjoying a coffee for the sake of enjoying a coffee, as opposed to enjoying a coffee whilst doing other things. Give yourself some time to allow your creative mind to function. Because if you're constantly consumed by distraction and tasks and things that you need to do, you're not going to be as effective cognitively, creatively, as what you could be.